In this video, we're going to talk about the 4 options of what you can do with your money. So you work really hard to earn that money, whether it's a regular job or if you're doing some side jobs as a teenager, some babysitting, some dog walking, things like that. But you've worked hard to earn that money, and now you have 4 choices as to where it goes. And my advice would definitely be to spread it across all 4 of these. So first of all, you can spend it, and you're going to have to spend some of your money. So it's not that it's a bad thing, but this can be anywhere from buying food and clothes, activities, streaming services, rent, the list goes on and on. Again, it's not a bad thing to spend that money, but we have to make sure that we are in control and we know where all of it is going, because once you spend it, it's gone. You can't get it back. And you worked hard to earn that money in the first place. So, some ways that we can think about our spending is, first of all, making a plan for that money to make sure we know exactly where each of our dollars are going and we're not just mindlessly giving it away. It can be extra tricky to not overspend when we're spending time with our friends, and I have that challenge right now in my 30s, as well as when you're going to have that challenge as a teenager and even when you're into retirement. So sometimes with your friends, they make you want to spend more money, and that doesn't mean you can't hang out with your friends. But if you see that you're overspending there, then that's one place that you could dial it back. I'm going to have several other recommendations as to where you can cut back on that spending in a separate video. But let's move to the second place that we can put our money, and that is savings. So we can save our money for future things that may happen, and we definitely should do that because you're going to have unexpected expenses arise. Now, we like to make sure we have at least an emergency fund. An emergency fund is going to be set aside for things like medical costs. I'm telling you, you would not believe how much it costs when you have to especially make an emergency room visit or go get x-rays, or my goodness, if you have to have a surgery or something, it's astronomical, even after insurance. So the emergency fund is good for that. It's also good for car repairs. You may already have a car. You may already have had to go through some different repairs that you or your parents pay for. And we want to make sure we have that fund set aside for things like that, because we have to make sure we can get to school and work as well. So savings are really important. Those can also help us get to our longer term goals. It could be a goal of, one day buying a home, and we have to save specifically for that. It could be for smaller things like buying a vehicle or even for going on vacation. But we have to make sure we're setting money aside, because I'm telling you, you are not accidentally going to end up with a nice chunk of savings set aside. Our third option is investing. This is where we put our money to work for us so that we're not having to work so hard. So I'm going to make a separate video or many videos that are digging into the different ways that we can put our money to work for us. It's important for us to have a savings account because we have to have some money that is safe, even if it's not earning much of a return. But we need to have that ready for emergencies and set aside for those goals that may arise. However, investing is another thing that we should make sure that we are putting money towards, because that is where we can really build wealth over time. So make sure that you stay tuned for those videos to understand all of the different investment types. The fourth place that we could put our money to work is giving. So, I don't want you to become wealthy just so you can accumulate more things, so that you can have a higher status, so that people will look at you differently. I want you to become wealthy so a couple of things can happen. You can be financially free, and you can be able to give to organizations, to charities, to anything that will benefit others, for projects that are bigger than yourself. So if we're able to just start giving money to things that matter to us or to individuals that matter, we can make a big impact beyond just ourselves. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean that every single friend that you have that has their hand out, or every person you see that asks for money, that you should give it to them. It needs to be a plan. You need to have really a purpose and a mission in life that you say, if it meets that, then I'm going to see this as something worthy to give some of my money towards. Not just every person that says, hey, do you want to take me out to dinner? Hey, do you want to buy me this thing? Hey, I know that you've been saving and investing. You should spend some of that on me. No, we want to have a purpose for that money and make sure that it is working towards that purpose, and we have a plan for it as well. So look out for a video specific for giving. But those are the 4 places that we really could put our money after we have earned it. So just make sure you're intentional to spread your money across all 4 of those, and not just spend it all, not just save it all for a low return. We can't invest all of it. We have to put some in savings, and we have to spend some, and we can't just give it all away, and especially not to just anybody that asks. But if we can spread those across those 4 categories, then we can be set up for financial success.